All right, so here's part 2. Okay, so we built a lab, and we placed it down here so it's got power. So what does a lab do? Well, you can see in a lab, it requires these science packs. And you have red science, green science, blue science, gray science, purple science, yellow science, and white science. And you have to generate these in multiple ways, right? You have to construct these essentially. So if you hit the letter T on your keyboard, you can see here, press T to start a new research. I'm going to hit T. This is the research tree, right? So anything that's kind of orange here or yellow is stuff that you can research. This is your starting researches. The stuff in red here you have not unlocked yet. It means it requires other researching. So in this case, automation, I have to build this first before I can build electronics. And you can see here, electronics opens up these things here. And then new advanced electronics opens up these things. So, and when I build it, here it tells me it takes 10 seconds to research 1 unit, and then for that 1 unit, it needs 1 science pack. So it does 10 seconds per 1 science pack times 10. Right, so that's what, 100 seconds? So it takes 100 seconds. It will take 10 science packs at 100 seconds total time. And what you get is an assembly machine and a long-handed inserter. So this is one of the first ones we want to build. The first 2 that we want to do is this one and logistics, mainly because of the underground belt, the fast inserter, and the splitter. Those 2 are the key. These 2 right here are going to be the key for starting your automation. So, red science. Well, how do we make that? So if you go to intermediate products, you can see here we can make red and green science. But green science, a little advanced right now. We don't want to worry about that at the moment. Red science, you can see here it requires 1 copper plate and 1 iron gear wheel. So total of 2. In the total raw, it takes 5.5 seconds. It's 1 copper and 2 iron. So I'm going to build 10 of these because that's enough to get me started. So I'm just going to I'm just going to right click twice. That'll queue up 10. And so it's going to build it, and we're just going to wait a little bit. Now, actually, the concept of a lab is almost exactly like the concept of a furnace, right? It requires electricity. So a furnace requires fuel, as in coal. And that's how it gets its power. And a lab, on the other hand, gets its power strictly from electricity, so you don't have to worry about fuel. You just have to worry about making sure it has electricity. But you have to input a resource to get an out. You have to put an input to get an output. Labs are the same way. It's just the input is science. In this case, the input is red science. So it's exactly the same thing. You can see here it's got a bar. It's got a place where I can put in my science. So, and there we go. So I just put in my science there. And you can see now it's got all 10 of my science that I created. I put them in there. And it'll start generating. So again, this is like me putting in iron ore in a furnace. It works the exact same way. Putting iron ore into this. Now, it's not doing anything because I haven't chosen a research yet. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the automation. And I'll show you why once we get research. I'm going to hit research. You can see here, automation is starting to research. And the thing is springing to life. I'm going to press Alt to take the thing away. You can see it's electricity and, and now the steam engines are working. And you can see at the bottom right of the tooltip for the steam engine, performance is just barely a little smidget of green because they're not working very hard. So their available performance is completely almost full. So they're having to work very little. But you can see that you can see here the boilers are working as well. So we're good. Everything's automating. Well, let me rephrase that. We're researching automation. So the first thing I'm going to do, there's two things I can do for the starting automation. One is automating my mining, or making sure that my miners are full of fuel, which reminds me, let's go ahead and, while that's researching, let's go ahead and collect some coal and get everything filled up with fuel here. I don't know what my copper situation is down here. Okay. I guess they are out of fuel. Actually, I'll just go and pick up the copper plates. And then we have our wood or our stone up here. It's, the drills of getting stone. And then we're gonna put in a bunch of coal in there to make sure that they're still going. And we're almost full of stone actually, so that's good. Alright, so our automation's almost done. And there we go. Automation finished. Press T, right? So now you can see this is green. You can scroll all the way down the bottom. It shows you all the stuff you researched, and boom, it shows down here that it's green. So now we've got logistics. That's the next one. This requires 20 science, right? Because it's 15 seconds per 1 science times 20. So that basically means 20 science. That's going to take a long time to build. Because, I mean, if we look here, science, I mean, yeah, you could do it, but it takes 5.5 seconds to build 1, times that by 20. That's a significant amount of time. So I want to automate that. So if we go down here to our production tab, we can now see we have assembly machines. These are fantastic. So I'm going to build 3 of them. And then we have inserters. I'm going to just right click to build 5. I'm probably going to need, actually I'm going to build 10. So I'll just right click twice to queue up 10. And these take a little bit to build. So I'm going to automate the construction of red science. So I don't have to do that. Alright, so I'm going to set an assembly machine, not right next to the lab. I'm going to set it just 1 block over. Right? And then when you're putting down inserters, you see a little flat bar, a little bar, and then you see the arrow. The bar is where it's going to pull resources from. The arrow is where the resources are going to go. So I'm going to put it there. So now I'm going to click on this assembly machine, and this is the stuff it can build. I'm going to have it build a red science pack. Right now you can see here it's got the red there, meaning it's going to build that. It doesn't have power. We'll connect power in a little bit. And then what's going to happen is this is going to build red science. This thing here, whenever the red science is done being built, it's going to grab it and put it into the lab automatically, filling up the lab for me. Very handy. Now, to build this, the assembly machine here tells you, oh, by the way, I need copper plates and I need iron gear wheels. And if you want to change the recipe, you can always hit this button too, but we want red. So, copper plates and iron gear wheels. Okay. So, what does that mean? It means we need 2 more of these things to... Actually, I'm going to build 2 of them. Because, let me look here. Science requires just 1 gear wheel, so actually, I'll just build 1. 1 should be fine. I'll build another one right here. Put this there. And I'm going to say this is going to make iron gear wheels. So now this is going to make gear wheels. And it's going to, this little thing is going to take the finished gear wheels over to this. So it can make the red science. Now, this still needs copper though. So I'm going to put a inserter here. And then just a simple, I'm going to build 2 iron chests. Put an iron chest there. Oh, and suggested tutorial. Inventory transfers. Okay, well, it's probably a little too late. Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm going to put copper in there. And so in this chest, there's now copper. This inserter is going to grab the copper out of this chest and put it in here. This inserter is going to grab the gear wheels out of here and put it into here. Now, this still needs iron. So I'm going to put another one right there, another iron chest with another inserter, and I'll fill it up with iron. So now, this inserter is going to take the iron, put it in here. This will make the wheels, which this will grab and put in here. This will grab the copper and put it in here, because this just needs the raw copper plates. It doesn't need anything fancy. So now we just got to get it power. So again, remember this blue outline kind of tells you where, or this blue outline is going to tell you what's getting power. So that will get power, and then I'll put this down here so these get power. There you go. So now you can see here, this is putting the iron in there, and then it's generating the iron wheels. This is moving it over here, and you can see this is making red science, and we're going to see this thing grab it and put it over there. And look at that. We have automated science. So I don't have to build the red science anymore. I can just, as long as I make sure I got copper and iron in there, I'm good to go. Which, speaking of which, grab a bunch of that. Then I'm going to grab some copper, because I'm not done yet. Now, here's one thing that's important. So logistics is now being generated, right? And I need that to so I can start automating. Now, these assembly machines, you gotta let these things work for you. And so this is just a super basic setup. What you would want to do eventually is get it to where this has a constant supply of iron and copper, so it does the work for you. And so you can see, yep. And the thing is, it will only take the iron or the gear wheels it needs out of it. It won't keep dumping gear wheels in here if it doesn't need more to produce. So, but there you go. And you can see this is producing red science faster than it's using it, which is good. That's not always going to be the case, but for this one particular research, it's using the science at a slower rate than it's getting it. So that's a good thing, or it's probably right about at the same rate that it's getting it. But anyways, so that's good. That means it'll constantly be producing the research. So we just kind of have to wait. There's not really much I can do right now. I guess the only thing I can do is just make sure that everything's got coal in it and maybe make some more. I may need to start making more iron. I don't know yet. Well, actually, I know I will, but we'll see. Now, I'm going to also do one little thing here. So we have this stone being in here, and the chest is full. So I am going to build an iron chest, which iron chests hold more than wood chests. So I'm going to put it there. And then just to replace it, you can just set a new chest on top of the old chest and it automatically replaces it. And then, so now it's got more room. But I'm going to take a inserter here into, actually now I need some stone. We'll build a furnace, have an inserter right there. And I'm going to put another inserter right here. And then I'm going to build another iron chest, put it right here. All right. So what's going to happen is this insert is going to take the stone out of this chest, put it into this burner, and then this burner is going to produce stone. Well, I mean it's stone, but it's going to be like pavement. And then it's going to create that, and it's going to put it, and this insert is going to grab it and store it in this chest. And it's handy because, actually, and I need to run power here, so I'm just going to. Now, here's the nice thing. If I start here, like if I'll hold, so you pushing button, or clicking, it automatically places down your power pole. Right now, if I click on if I have a power pole on my cursor, and I click on an existing power pole and just run, it will. Well, it's supposed to. Hold on. There we go. It automatically places it at the furthest point, so I don't have to manually worry about it. So that's handy. All right, so there we go. Now I just gotta put coal in there. So now it's creating, what is it creating inside? What do they call that? Stone bricks, okay. It's turning stone into stone bricks. And the handy thing about stone brick is that I can set it down and I run faster on it. So I can make pathways, so when I'm running around, I'm doing it a little faster. It's pretty handy to have, I'm not going to lie. Alright, so put these in here. Make sure everything's full of coal. Run down here. My poor little copper setup here. And I may actually, you know what? I am going to build more copper, or 2 more of these, because my need for copper is going to go up now. Alright. And did I pull the copper out of these? I don't think I did. There we go. Alright. And then I also need to, since I've been making power, I need to make sure my boilers here have got coal. And one of the first things we're going to do actually is automate the coal into these, because running out of power it sucks. So we can see here logistics is almost done. Just wait a second for it to finish. Okay. Logistics finished. So the next thing I'm going to research is probably just electronics. At this point, it doesn't really matter. I mean, yeah, it matters, but at this point, though, I've got everything I need to last me a good little while. So there's 2 goals here. what am I doing right now? I'm doing a lot of running around and collecting my iron and copper. I'm doing a lot of running around of making sure everything has coal. So there's two things. I need to automate mining, and I need to automate smelting. Actually, three things. Automate mining, automate smelting, and then I need to automate iron. Oh, what was I going to say? Coal production. So I could just keep making these burner mining drills, but they're kind of annoying because they need coal, right? And that's annoying. Make sure they're filled up with coal. So my goal is to now build electric mining drills. Now these things take a lot of iron, take 23 iron and 4.5 copper, and it takes 8 seconds to build one. I'm going to need a lot of these. So the best thing to do, I'm going to queue up. I don't know how I click like 4 or 5 assembly machines. So I'm going to have these build them for me, build these electric mining drills for me. So then I can run electricity from these steam engines, to these mining drills that will generate my coal and my iron and everything for me without having to have these coal sucking burners here, burner miners or burner drills. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of build it in this general area here. How I start these off, this is all temporary because eventually you're going to make a much bigger setup to make, because you're going to have to produce a lot more red science than just this. Just these 2 assemblies are not going to be enough to sustain you at the end. You're going to need a whole production setup for that. But so this is all temporary with the stuff I'm doing right now. As you grow, you'll need to learn how to start planning efficient ways of generating red science, or drills like this and stuff like that. And there's a really good website which I'll show at the end of this, which has blueprints, and I'll show you how blueprints work because they're super handy. All right, so I'm going to put down an assembly machine here. I'm going to select where is it? Is it under production? No. Oh, you know what? I need this. So it's a good thing I am doing electronics. So I need electronics, which opens this up, which gives me that assembly machine 2. Super handy. So in the meantime, I can still have this make transport belts, which is something you're definitely going to need a lot of. And typically one assembly machine is not going to be enough, but at the early point in this game, it's going to be enough. All right, so I clicked here. Okay, so I chose transport belts, and it needs 1 iron plate and 1 iron gear wheel. So it's kind of similar to this setup here. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set up 2 because it requires a lot more gear wheels. Or I'm going to need a lot more gear wheels. So I'm actually going to build some fast inserters. Because what's going to happen is with these slow inserters, you can watch this inserter here and just see how, or actually this down here, you see how slow they are at taking it over? That actually does become a bottleneck. So I'm going to build 2 here that are going to build just strictly iron gear wheels. And so now I have 2 of these with these fast inserters, and they're going to just be churning out these iron gear wheels into this. So the faster that this gets the iron gear wheels, the faster it can make these. So I want to build an iron chest, someplace where it can dump. And we'll put a fast inserter again, because it could be a bottleneck. Because an inserter will only pull what it has to keep going. So, but it can generate faster than one of these slow inserters can. So it can create a bottleneck. So the fast inserters are very handy for this. In this case, for the red science, it takes so long to make 1 red science. You're not in a hurry getting the resources into this assembly machine. This, on the other hand, these things build very quickly. So fast inserters give you a lot more efficiency. Alright, so I'm going to need 3 iron chests here. There's probably a faster way or a more efficient way of doing this. Actually, you know what? We're gonna experiment here. I'm gonna pick these up, and then I'm trying to think of the best way of doing this. Maybe if I do this. Alright, so I'm gonna have a fast inserter pull from a chest. And then I'm trying to think of the best way of doing this, because I want I don't want a bunch of chests with iron that I have to keep refilling. I'd much rather have just one chest. I know what I can do. Here we go. It's probably a bad idea, but we're gonna go with it. I need another fast inserter, and I'll explain what I'm doing here once I get it set up. Okay. So this is gonna grab. Okay. So this is gonna do gears. This is gonna do gears, and actually I need 2 more fast inserters. All right. So I'm gonna put. So this right here requires the gears and the iron plates. I want to put all the iron plates here. So this, and this one are all going to pull from this one chest. So that way I only have one chest to keep filled up. And then this is going to put gear wheels in here, and this is going to take the gear wheels from that and put them in here. So once you see it all in motion, it'll make sense. Believe you me. Make sure they all have power, connected to the power grid. Boom. All right, and then I'm just going to throw in here so you can see. This, okay, so they're all collecting from here, and as the gear wheels get put into here, these grab it as it needs it. Whoops, and I need to do one other thing here. I need one more fast inserter. Oh man, I don't have enough iron. Well, I can just take iron from out of here. Just one more. You can see here, these are not doing anything because this has built 12 of these already, and it won't build anymore because it's full. So there we go. So you can see why these fast inserters are important, because it's pulling these out at a much faster rate than what these are doing. So that's important. Why these fast inserters are super important. And it ran out of iron already. So you can see, just for that, I'm going to need a lot more iron. Going to chew through that iron super fast. Actually, while I'm here, I'm going to check on the iron levels of this. I'll put the 90 in there. I'm just going to put the rest in there. I can control-click just to put all my iron over there. So now we got these being built. And these things here, you're going to use 1 million of these. The more of these you have, the better. All right, electronics is finished. Perfect. So I want automation 2, which requires 80 science. It's a lot of science. So how can we research faster? Super simple. I'm going to build another lab. I need copper and iron. I just gave all my iron away. So now you can see I'm starting to get a bottleneck of iron, because these have not produced a whole lot of iron. Enough to create one lab. I need to get the copper down here too. Actually, I've got plenty of copper. So now you can see I'm in a situation where I'm going to be iron starved here very soon. So it's possible I may build some more burner miners in the meantime, because I'm producing these things here. You can see they're sucking up the iron. This here, not so much. It is a little slower, but we're going to replicate this to create another science lab. And then here's what we're going to do. We're going to go bam, bam, and then I only need 2 slow inserters. Put this iron, or this right here. Actually, I need another slow inserter. And I'm going to say that this is going to make red science, and this is going to make gear wheels. And basically, I'm just mirroring what I already have here. And then put this power pole here, so everything's got power. All right, so now I've got 2 labs, right? So now I'm doing double the research, essentially. Or it's going to go twice as fast now. Oh, I forgot to put an inserter right here. Oh, not enough power. Actually, I might just be able to move this up a bit. So just do that, and then that. There we go. All right, so this is all kind of spaghetti right now. So see, we're already at iron here. It's just gone. But I've got quite a few belts right now, so that's fine for the moment. How am I doing iron on this one? No, I'll just put the rest in there. So we got quite a bit of iron, or not iron, belts for right now. Put that in there. Keep my inventory clean. All right. Did I move all the I think I accidentally pulled all the copper out of that. Maybe, I don't know. Alright, so this is still producing science. Now you can see that now they're producing now they're you can see it's now using science quicker. It's now burning the science or using up the science faster than it's creating it, which is kind of a problem because you can see here this requires 80 science, 5 seconds to burn 1 science, whereas previously we were looking at, what was this, 15 seconds to burn 1 science. Now we're doing 5 seconds per 1 science. So 1 red science is not enough. Even right now 2 is not enough. I should probably have a 3rd setup maybe, but actually, you know what? This is probably a better solution. And this is the kind of thing you'll figure out when you play Factorio. You'll figure out optimizations for stuff. Since the way that the science is working, and I need to take some of your copper and some of your iron there. The way the science works is that because it's burning it so fast, at this point, there's really no point into there's really no point in 2 labs right now because it's burning it so fast. I just have to make sure this 1 lab doesn't stop working. And what I can do, and this is a little trick, is that if you have labs that feed from one another, so watch this. So now, this will never take all of the science out of this lab. It will only take the excess science out of this lab. So now this is much more efficient setup. So we've got 2 red sciences being generated here. It's putting it in there, and it's feeding any extra into this. Actually, let me rephrase that. It feeds everything into this, but once this is full, this will accept the overflow. So in this case, we may get an overflow. I don't think we're producing science really fast enough. Maybe I got a science here I accidentally picked up. Maybe if I put fast inserters here. So you can see now where the bottleneck is. Because there's a bottleneck with how slow these inserters are working. And it's going to be a small upgrade by putting fast inserters here, but I'm just going to build all 9. I'll just replace them all with fast. And I think you'll see an improvement because you can see here as soon as this gets fed here, it gets in here. So that means there's no overflow. I'm not producing red science faster than I'm researching. That's what this tells me. If I was producing science faster than it's researching, then this one would have science in it as well. Because again, once this is full, it's not going to take anything it takes. Let me rephrase that. Once this one is full of science, this one accepts the overflow. It keeps the overflow, if you will. So by using these fast inserters, I'm just going to replace we're going to have it's going to give me a tiny bit of an efficiency gain, probably not enough. Because the big thing right here is this. This just takes so long. So, but it's good enough for right now. I need some iron. And I need copper as well. Alright. Oh boy. Okay, so once automation 2 is done, we can actually start getting our mining situation sorted out. So I don't have to keep doing what I'm doing here, which is running around and collecting stuff. The whole point of the game is to get the game to play itself. It's amazing there's speedrunners who can beat this game in like less than 2 hours. I don't know how they do that. Alright, just kind of waiting. Automation 2 to be done here. Yeah, right now with the 2 red scientists, we're producing as fast as we are researching, it looks like. Just about. Do. Because I could put more iron plates in there to get more belts. Because you always need belts. Alright. Now the other thing too, which I might do real quick. Okay, automation 2 is done. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to research logistics 2. No, I can't. That requires green science. We're not there yet. So I'll research optics because it gives me lamps, and lamps are useful. Okay, so what did this give us? This gave us an assembly machine 2. So assembly machine 1 can only accept, you can see here, crafts items that require up to 2 ingredients. This requires, or this will craft things that require 4 ingredients. The electric mining drill requires 3 ingredients, so it can't be produced in the assembly machine 1 that only can craft things with 2 ingredients. So it only crafts something with 2 or less ingredients. Where the blue one here, assembly machine 2, could do anything the assembly machine 1 does, and it's also does it faster as well. So I'm gonna build all 9 of those because I can replace the blue ones here, or replace the assembly machine 1s and produce this stuff even faster. Now you can see here optics is much slower, consumes red science much slower. So you can see here both of these are working. So this means this thing is full here, and this is accepting the overflow. And you actually see we're actually building up a surplus here. So there's 1 red science that hasn't picked up yet. It's kind of hard to see. You can see now there's 2 red sciences that haven't picked up yet. So we're now producing faster. It's not red science faster than it's using it. Now optics is a very low level technology, so that's gonna happen. So, and so you can see here it finished really quick. So the next thing, I guess we'll go steel processing. Although we're a little bit away from actually fully using steel. So, alright, so I'm going to let these run, these blue assembly machines, and then we're going to set up a mining system for it, an automated mining system. And we'll continue out the next episode.